What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of another Disney podcast. I know a couple weeks ago we jumped the gun and said, hey, we made it to 50 episodes, but guess what? This one right here is truly our 50th episode. So we are glad that you stuck with us to number 50. Let's do it.
This is another Disney podcast production.
I know a lot of people look at me on this podcast and think that dude's old, but I'm not yet 50.
Not yet.
Unlike
You're
this show,
pushing 50
for sure.
Pushing 50.
Oh man. Well, hey, before we jump in, let's share some exciting news. So we just got done recording a live show with Pete McDivitt. If you don't know who Pete McDivitt is, I think the best way that I know how to describe this guy is this is a guy who lives to help the Disney community grow. And when I say community, I really mean creators grow. And that dude is just wired to do that. That's his passion. And so he had us on the show tonight. Tonight is Wednesday, January, because I don't know what day it is. They all run together.
January 20-something, 27th.
I was going to say 25th. So we're off to a great start.
Great start.
Anyway, yeah, it was a great time. He interviewed us, brought us on, got to hang out with some people in the chat. It was just fun. The guy, I highly recommend you. He's on Facebook. I think it's the Chaos Chaos Clubhouse for Disney, or Chaos Clubhouse Disney. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
It's just
Chaos.
plain fun. Something like that.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time talking with Pete. It's just nice when somebody reaches out and just wants to help promote what you do. So he's awesome. He does that with a lot of people.
Yeah.
He's a lot of fun. So if you have a chance, check it out. Like Dave said, ours was Wednesday. It will replay all the time. And if you like his stuff, just like and subscribe. Yeah. That's all we ask.
YouTube is where you'll find him. He's streaming every single day of the year. That's what he does. It is his jam. And we're going to be on another podcast in early February. Well, no, it's really, I guess it's a podcast. It's another YouTube live show. I don't know. They've invited us on. We're not giving away any secrets or dates yet because I don't know how much they want us to unveil, but we'll let you know when we're on. We'll give you a preview of that one first instead of telling you after. So, check out Pete's channel on YouTube and come tell us how silly we looked on the show. Yeah, it was great.
And don't say anything. If you see that we have the same clothing on, don't say anything about it. We recorded two shows. It's irrelevant.
Yeah. Here, I'll fix it right now. Problem solved. New glasses.
Oh, guess what? I will too. Ready?
Done. It's a whole new day. All right, we got to keep the energy up because I am spent after laughing and carrying on with the nonsense over there with Pete. So let's dive in with today's topic. I still don't think we've landed on a name. I'm gonna read the ones that you texted me because those are just great. Let's see. It's all a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Lies, nothing but lies.
I like that one.
Lying sons of beep. Lying sons of. I don't think we can include that and keep our rating.
No, this is a family-friendly show. That was more of a between me and you text.
Yes. Lies, nothing but lies.
And nothing but lies.
I mean, I guess the easy way to look at this is we're going to talk about a fistful, or if you will, probably a fistful. Because a handful is only 5, so it's more than. So a fistful of things that a lot of people think about Disney World that are not true. And I guess this could go for both. Some of these could go for all Disney parks, but obviously we spend the majority of our time talking about Disney World. So yeah. That's all I got. Good show.
That's all. That's it. You'll have to figure out the lies. You'll have to figure out the lies yourself.
Yeah, Google them.
Just look up Disney lies. Oh goodness. So we're gonna do that. So Dave, I'm gonna jump right in.
Okay.
The first lie. This is what people say to me, right? When I go and I say, "Hey, we went to Disney again, and we went to XYZ restaurant," and you know what they say to me? They say, "Why would you go there? All Disney had is just cheap theme park food."
Well, I would like to say that when you say cheap, I don't think that it's monetarily cheap.
No.
It used to be. No, yeah. No. I don't think people think, I don't know if I want to use the word fine dining, but there I did. When they think of Disney parks, but au contraire, mon frere.
Au contraire, indeed.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a long time since we've been there, but gosh, I still stand by, even this is well over 15 years ago. My wife and I went to Le Cellier, which is in Canada at Epcot, and that's the best steak I've ever had in my life to this day. That was 147 years ago. Yeah. And then, gosh, I know that you guys have been frequented a lot. Somewhere up top on the Contemporary.
Up top on the Contemporary. Yes, we have frequented. I can't even talk. We have frequented the California Grill on top of the Contemporary, and they have amazing food. Now, that's not necessarily in a Disney theme park, but it's on Disney property. Yeah. So a lot of people who have never been to Walt Disney World assume that the food is of a certain quality because it is a theme park or a amusement park experience. And that's simply not true. Now, there are places you still get your French fries and your chicken nuggets and your hot dog. There's a place for all of that stuff, but Disney truly has some fine dining experiences. Just right off the bat, if you go to, the dinner at Beauty and the Beast Castle, Be Our Guest is fantastic. If you go in Epcot, like you said, to Le Cellier, that is amazing. If you go in Hollywood Studios, you can go to the 50s Diner. It doesn't sound super fancy, but the food is really good. It's not cheap theme park food. And then if you're thinking about Animal Kingdom, there's plenty of Tiffin's comes to mind over there, the Yak and Yeti. There are some great places in the parks where you can get not your standard theme park fare.
You know what? That's a show we should do right there. We should do a show of our favorite, quick service food at parks that people wouldn't know about. Magic Kingdom would be hard, but I immediately think of the one in Animal Kingdom that I'd never had until I went with you and Steve, and that food is good. That was super good. Really good.
We should definitely do a show about that.
Yeah. And I think the one that we haven't touched on, and this has become a recent favorite, I think we do it every time at least I come to town, and that is the Skipper Canteen. And why I say that is I would say if you take alcohol out of the equation, the two of you can eat for a total of $65. Now, I think of some meals and buffets and character experiences. Now, I know that includes character, but they're like $65 per person. Some of them, and that might even be the kid. That might even be the kid rate. I don't know, but I love that steak that they have at Skipper Canteen, and all the sides that come with it, just as it is. And it's an incredible meal. And you've had some other things besides the steak there. I just get the steak.
Yeah. And I had never been there. Obviously walked past it plenty of times, but I'd never had the desire to go to the Skipper Canteen until I went with you, and it was a totally different experience than I thought it would be. The theming is amazing in that restaurant. Yes. The experience is amazing. And then the steak is really good. So the first time we went, I had the steak. The second time I had I think it was the fried chicken, and it was unbelievable, and it's not expensive. So you can, I thank you for introducing that place to me because it is fantastic.
Yeah. It's my jam now. That's my jam.
That is the jammy jam.
All right, so it's all just cheap theme park food at Disney. No, I'm gonna disagree with it. I'm gonna call that a lie. The next one you hear all the time is like, Dave, why do you go to Disney every year? And honestly, multiple times a year. Disney is for kids. Oh,
Dave, that is such a lie. It's such a lie. And let me tell you why. Now, back in the day, and the day was a Wednesday, but back in the day, Disney, that may have been a valid argument, but Disney has branched out. They've created many thrill rides. They're putting a couple more up now, but not so much the rides. The experiences at Walt Disney World are becoming more and more adult oriented. Magic Kingdom still totally for the kids. If you want to enjoy a day with your kids, head to the Magic Kingdom. It's all family friendly stuff, not anything too super crazy. Space Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain, Splash Mountain, that's about as crazy as you're going to get at Magic Kingdom. But when you start looking at Epcot and you look at Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom, there are way more adult things to do in these parks than kid things to do,
including all the alcohol in those three other
including
parks.
Alcohol. Yeah. So obviously that leads you to adult, because you have to be an adult to enjoy the beverages in the park. And the one I think of most obviously is Epcot. The or as we call it, festivals. The festivals are totally geared towards adults. Like, no kid wants to walk around and eat food from around the world and drink beverages from around the world. So I think if somebody said to me, don't go to Disney, it's just for kids, lies.
Yeah. I mean, when we first started going back, like from not a family vacation, we didn't even have kids. Like when we went in 2007 and oh my, it was, and then we invited you guys on this crazy Disney journey in 2010 and oh my gosh, amazing
God,
trip.
We had fun.
Man,
we had so much fun, and no one had kids, and we had a great time.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yes. So that's a pretty easy one. It's not just for kids. If you have kids, obviously you can have a wonderful time. There's stuff to do at every park for children. But if you're an adult or a childless millennial, as those people made us stink about back in the, a couple of years ago, if you're a childless millennial, you can still have just as much fun at Walt Disney World.
100%.
100%. So Dave, here's another one.
Okay.
Dude, you do not need to have more than one day at the Magic Kingdom. You can do everything.
Oh, of course.
Like, why are you going for 7 days? You can do all 4 parks in 4 days and you're fine.
First of all, I would immediately say, you haven't been to Disney. Or if you have, it was the year that it opened and there was only one park. I like Disney, especially in Central Florida, it's the biggest vacation spot in the world, has been for multiple years in a row. And it's because of all that's there. And because of all that's there, it's impossible to experience stuff in one day. It's just impossible. Now, I know that you don't go and the whole goal is I'm going to do absolutely every single thing you can do at a park. Well, first of all, that might take you a week to do everything. Like, if you wanted to literally do everything. But that's definitely one of those lies that you hear that is just, it's not true. I mean, can you do it? Yes. Will it be a memorable experience? Other than just saying, hey, I went to Magic Kingdom and did as much as I could in one day. Great. But I wouldn't call it like a memorable experience. No. There's so much to do and discover there. You're not doing yourself any favors if you're trying to fit it all in one day. Now, if you're there, like we talked about a little bit in last week's show, if you're there for like a convention and you're like, hey, I'm going to go sneak over for a day or a half a day. Well, you make the best of what you can, but like, don't be like, oh, I'm just going to schedule 4 days and we'll knock them all out and come home. Like, I mean, because if you do that, there's 2 water parks you're missing right there. Like, exactly. And Disney Springs. I mean, there's just so much to do.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've lived here for almost 4 years and I still haven't done everything that there is to do at Walt Disney World. So, I mean, and I live here. So to say that you could experience fully, like if you plan your vacation and you're like, this is the one time we're going to Walt Disney World and we're going to go for 4 days and we're going to one park each day and we're doing it all, you're not going to have a good time. Yeah. You're not going to enjoy yourself. You're going to end up wanting to kill your family or whoever you're traveling with. It's just not going to be worth it. So please do not think that you can just do everything in one day. Dave and I always talk about this, and he's a little bit different because he comes here a lot during the year, 4 or 5 times a year. So we can do this. But if you're coming to Disney World once, come for at least a week. You have to come for at least a week. That gives you a rest day. That gives you a couple days where you can hit the parks a couple times, spend a day in the Magic Kingdom. The next day go to Animal Kingdom, which usually closes early. And then you can bounce back to Magic Kingdom and do stuff you didn't do the day before. So, yeah, it's not don't listen to the people who say you can do everything in one day. It's just not physically possible.
And when you do that, when you do 4 parks in 4 days, day 2.5, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're going to hit a wall.
Yeah.
And that wall is going to be like, my feet is done. My legs are done. My body is done. My being around a lot of humans at the moment is done. Yeah. Correct. You're going to need that break time. Figure out your break time. And for planning your Disney vacation, I highly recommend you watch our show or listen to our show called Planning for the Magic. You can find it where you find all of our other Disney podcast shows. Just throwing that out there. Okay, Brandon.
Plug. Yes.
All right, so from here, we're going to go look, man, if I'm traveling to Central Florida, there's a park across the street that has way better rides, and Disney and all of their rides are just for kids. I'm going somewhere else.
Okay, and I would say to you, Dave, at the moment, you may be correct.
Okay.
You may be. There are not just rides for children. Disney does have some fantastic thrill rides right now. Okay. Obviously, Space Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain, Splash Mountain. They have Expedition Everest, which right now is closed, but normally it is open. Dinosaur, which may be scary for kids. And they're opening this year. Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster, and hopefully a Tron Light Cycle run. So Disney is doing a lot of things to try to say we want adults to enjoy our theme park as much as children are enjoying our theme park. They're building more grown-up rides, and they're trying to do things for adults. So I would put a asterisk on your little statement for a second and say for right now, maybe that little park down the street has bigger rides, but Disney's going to get there, and everything at Disney is enjoyable, whether you're a kid or an adult. Yeah.
I definitely think when I think of Disney, their attractions are great from 1 to 100. Like, that's what I think is great. Like, I mean, you and I are roller coaster junkies, but my wife isn't, right?
Mine either.
She loves Space Mountain. That's her favorite ride. And mostly it's because Disney has found a way to add thrill to a lot of their thrill attractions without that stomach coming out of your soul, which we love. Yeah. Like, I love that feeling. But a lot of people don't. And it allows them to kind of feel like they're living on the wild side by riding those rides. I mean, and I even think of Rock and Roller Coaster. Again, crazy thrill ride loops and all this kind of stuff, but you never really lose your stomach.
Yeah. And you're not going up and down over hills and things like that. Yeah, I agree. And just another point about that other park down the street. We went to Disney with a family. Our great friends from Kentucky came to visit us, and we spent a week at Disney. And we also went to that other park, Universal, down the street for a day. Now, the main thing I can say about the difference between Disney and Universal, we went to Universal, and maybe there was 8 of us. 5 of us might have gotten on a roller coaster, and 3 people were left out. When we went to Disney, everybody went on the attraction. Yep. So it's just it's thrill rides, but it's also thrill rides that families can enjoy.
Yeah.
So that would be my argument.
All right, so let's go back into the food. So we talked about there's just crappy fast food, but I want to talk about this for a second. So Brandon, here's one of the things that you need to be aware of. Food is super expensive at Disney, and you can't even bring your own food in. So, I mean, that's one of the things that's keeping me from going is the cost has gone up so much, and then their food is so expensive, and I can't even bring my own food in.
Oh, well, here's what I would tell you, Dave. And I'm sorry that someone fed you that information and you didn't get the correct information. But the great thing about Walt Disney World is you can, in fact, bring in your own food.
Shut your mouth.
You can bring your own food. Now, does it take planning? Is it do you have to be willing to carry around a book bag or a cooler or something like that in order to keep the food in? Yes. Is it much more convenient to just mobile order a quick service meal? Yes, but it's going to cost you a lot. We've started doing this, especially since we live here. Like, we will bring snacks to the park. We'll bring water bottles to the park. We don't want to spend $40 to have a couple burgers and fries if we're going to be at the Magic Kingdom for 3 hours. So the fact that Disney does let you bring your stuff in is something I think sets them apart from a lot of other amusement parks, because they kind of put the monopoly on food, right? You buy our food, you buy our drink, or you starve. Right. So, Dave, the good thing I would tell you is if you plan it and you do it correctly, you can bring your food. You can sit down with your family. They got great areas. There's one over by the Rapunzel bathrooms, and there's a couple by Sleepy Hollow, by the Casey's Corner, and then the ice cream shop. You can sit down with your family, pull out your sandwiches and your chips, and just eat with your family and not have to spend a fortune.
That's right. I will say a couple of tips. One is, if you sit over there by the Rapunzel bathrooms, best bathrooms in the parks, in my opinion, and it's not too full, which is hard to find. There's chargers located there in those, so you can recharge your device. But I will say the biggest thing that I want to share about that is, with the rising costs at Disney, like, obviously, like, if you can bring your food in, even if it's just one meal of the day that you don't have to buy. And I think of, like, you're a family of 4, right? And let's just say quick service, and it's, I don't know, let's say $13 a plate per adult. So there's 26, and let's say it's $7 or $8 per kid, right? I mean, that's $50. Boom, gone. Yeah. Now, the other thing why I want to bring that is we've talked about that as a strategy. People are like, man, now we got to pay for, like, Fast Pass, right? With the Genie and Genie Plus. Well, the advantage of, that's one of the things you think about. Like, if you decide, like, we've even said, hey, that day, if you decide not to get Starbucks in the park, that's enough to cover your Genie Pass. Yeah, and then, of course, if you replace a meal, when you got 4 of you, that'll just about cover everybody per day by just taking out paying for one meal. I mean, so that's something worth planning, and it's a strategy. And, like, I've seen people doing it, right? In the summertime, Brandon, I would say, let's just pick on your ride, Splash Mountain in the summertime. Yeah. It's a pretty long wait, right?
It's a pretty long,
nothing like sitting there in line and popping out the cooler and everybody have lunch while you're waiting in line. You're double dipping, you're maximizing your time, and you didn't have, now, sure, it'd be great to go somewhere and sit down, but if you guys bring sandwiches and chips and sodas, you can just stand in line right there and eat it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's many different ways to maximize your financial planning when it comes to saving a little bit of money. Food's a good place to cut, and it's a time saver.
It is. And the one caveat I would put to that, and it's not available right now, but if they do offer meal plans and they offer the quick service meal plan, we've done it both ways. We've gone to Disney and not gotten a meal plan and brought our own stuff and snacks and things like that. It almost works itself out to be the same. Right. So that would be my one caveat, is that if they ever bring the meal plans back to Walt Disney World, look seriously at getting the quick service meal plan. It will cost you the same as going to the store and buying all your stuff for the week. And it's just a time saver. I mean, you just go up and order and scan your band or your phone and you're done. You don't have to worry about carrying money and remembering, oh, I forgot little Johnny's fruit snacks and I forgot Billy's Pringles and things like that. So if the meal plans come back, definitely look to invest in that. But you can bring all your food. It will save you money, and it's a time saver.
Yep, for sure.
For sure. So that's a good one. I hear that one a lot, and a lot of people surprisingly don't know you can bring your own stuff. Yep. So, if you're not going to bring food, make sure you bring your own water. Bring your own water. Bring your own water bottles. We talked about this a lot on the show. You can get free water all over the park. So bring a water bottle, drink it, refill it back up. You can get free cups of water everywhere.
Yeah.
Now this next one kind of irks me, and I see this a lot. We've seen this one a lot during this time in our world, right? And that is, Dave, guess what? I can say whatever I want to the cast member because they work for me. I pay their salary.
Oh, I do it all the time.
I mean, me too, but I still think it's a lie. You probably shouldn't do that.
No. Yeah, social media has not been your friend if you've wanted to watch how cast members get mistreated during the pandemic. Wow. Yeah, they don't work for you. I'm going to give you a secret. They work for Mickey.
they work for the mouse.
Yeah. Yeah, like we've never done this, but I do want to say, I'm going to go off on a little side thing here. When we ate, what was the breakfast place that we ate at on our 50th trip at the boardwalk?
At the boardwalk? Trattoria El Forno.
There it is. I would have never, ever been able to say that. So that place, we had a breakfast and we sat next to this awesome couple. And we must have been wearing something, another Disney podcast or talking about the show.
I think we were actually talking about it.
And so they kind of leaned over and said something and asked questions. And like, so we gave them like our, I don't know, do we give them pins, stickers, whatever we had with us?
Pins, stickers, yeah.
And this couple had these basically business size cards that were nothing but like the whole point of them were to hand them to a cast member that you thought did something special. And it just said like a kind of Disney-fied thank you. I just thought that was brilliant. They had them made, and so like whenever they felt prompted or wanted to, or a cast member did something awesome, they would give it to him, and it was just a way of giving a cast member appreciation. I thought that was brilliant because look,
it was amazing.
They're not there for you. Hey, everybody works to make a living, one, and two, a lot of them are there because they absolutely love Disney just as much as you and I do. And so to get in there and to watch people mistreat them, I can't think of a better word other than nauseating. It's disgusting to watch how humans treat other humans, especially at what's been coined the happiest place on earth. So no, they're not there for your pleasure, and they're not there for them to be a welcoming walking mat and walk all over them. Oh no.
No. And I've seen some cast members be treated horribly, and people just have to understand they're not making these rules because they felt like making them up that morning. They're doing what they're told, just like at your job. You do what is required of you at your job. So please love your cast members. I remember that breakfast. Those little cards were awesome. They were just like, because a lot of people don't know that Disney cast members can't accept a lot of stuff.
Right.
People bring gift cards and money and try to tip them, and they can't really accept that stuff, but they can accept a thank you. They can accept you're doing awesome. And that's kind of what these cards did. They just, the people, and the one thing that they did that kind of turned it up a notch is the guy said, I always try to find out their name. Like I want to make sure what their name is, and I write it on the card so that it would be like Kevin, you brought a smile to my face today. And then you would hand the card. Yeah. So if you want to do something nice for your cast members, it's awesome to be like, I'm going to buy them stuff. It doesn't have to be that big. It doesn't have to be a huge grand gesture. Thank somebody, give them a little note that says, you're awesome. Thanks for making me smile. And then that'll make a cast member's day just as much.
When we left Magic Kingdom October 1st, every single cast member we walked past, we were all like, you guys killed it today. Well done. Because look, as excited as I'm sure as the kickoff was for the 50th, it was also really stressful. I promise you that since the pandemic, October 1st, 2021, the start of the 50th anniversary, was by far the most amount of people that they've seen since pre-pandemic. And that was a good 2.5 years into the pandemic. That was an all hands on deck day. There was a lot of brass there. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of frustrating situations. And I made it a point. I was like, look, we had a blast that day, but I promise you, everybody that worked in that park didn't. Not all of them. I'm sure there was a challenging day for a lot of people just to I even think of the custodial staff, right? And the rounds that they're making to constantly keep the park clean and the cans empty and all that kind of stuff. I imagine they had to hit those cans a little bit quicker and a little bit faster and make their rounds a lot more than a typical day had been, especially during the pandemic. So, here's the thing. If you don't think that the cast members are a big as a part of the experience as the things and the stuff, you are way out in left field. You have first of all, you can't get on the monorail if a cast member doesn't show up to work and then take you there.
Correct.
You can't get on the bus. I mean, on the boat. You can't get off the boat. You can't get into the park. They don't turn these are the people that bring the magic to life. And so treat them like you would treat Mickey.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
And that's why they're called cast members. They're part of the show. They're part of the experience. They're not called employees. They're not called workers. Right. They're cast members. So please treat them as well.
Yes.
So
okay.
Wow, that was like a little soapbox.
I know, that's right.
That
Stop messing with my people. Stop messing with my people.
That lie anymore, people.
No. All right, here you go. This one's a doozy. This one's a doozy.
This is a doozy.
All right. Here's one thing you can count on your busy day, no matter what park that you're at. When you look at the posted wait times for those rides, they're going to be pretty accurate. They're going to be dead on. So pay attention to those. Really? It'll really help your vacation day be amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I have the app, right? I'm looking at the app, so I want to get on Splash Mountain. It says it's 95 minutes. I guess if I want to ride it, I'm going to go stand in line for 95 minutes, right? I mean,
yep.
They never lie about their wait times, do they?
No. Why would they?
I mean, why would they? Obviously we're tongue in cheek having a little fun with that because this show is called Lies, Lies, Nothing But Lies. But obviously the wait times are a guesstimate. They are just based on what the lines look like. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of people think, like Dave and I were just talking, if that wait time says 90 minutes, you get in line, you're going to stand in line for 90 minutes. I found that to be 90%, well, maybe not 90, 75% of the time you're going to wait a much shorter time than what that line says. And there's all sorts of conspiracy theories now, especially with Disney or Genie Plus, that they're inflating wait times so that people will get in line or go buy the Disney Genie or get individual lightning lanes. Yes, that may be part of it. And I'll tell you a little story here once I get your thoughts on this one. But the wait times are generally shorter, and you're going to stand in line much less than what the sign says. Don't let that dissuade you from getting in line to ride something you want to ride. Yeah,
I would definitely say there are some rides that are notorious for that. I mean, I think of a couple. Soarin' is one of them. Most of the time, if that thing says 60 minutes, sometimes it's as short as 35. And then when he says 35, 40, it's like we've been, and it's 15 minutes and we're sitting down. So, and there's a couple of rides like that, but there's one thing, I don't know this. I'm just going to give, because we loved our not conspiracy theories, but our speculating. If you've been going to Disney long enough and you reach back a few years into your memory, there was every now and then somebody would get that lanyard with the red card attached to it.
And everybody made a huge deal, like it was a special thing.
That's right. And so what you would do is you would enter the attraction queue, a cast member would hand you that. And then when you got all the way to a certain point within the line, a cast member would take it back. And I think they would scan it. I think it had a chip in it or something. Yes. Well, regardless. Well, since COVID, that went away. So I'm not saying that the wait times aren't as accurate because they don't have a way, because certainly they can use magic bands. They could say, okay, Brandon's magic band walked past this point and now he's at this point. I'd be shocked if they weren't utilizing the technology they have in magic bands to do that, but maybe not. Maybe it's a thing that they're not allowed to do that, but they certainly track you all over the park with it and know where you're at. But I'll just say for conspiracy and for conspiracy's sake, I would say back in red card days, I would say that the times were pretty accurate. So maybe they are trying to push people away or into certain different areas of the park. That could be very well true. Disney would never admit to that. But all I'm going to say is I don't think it's been the same since they stopped with the red card. So take that for what it's worth.
The red card's pretty accurate. If you scan the red card and you hand it to somebody who gets in line and they get to the next point and scan the red card, it's pretty easy to know how long you've waited, right? And we've talked about this a lot, and we experienced this. I mean, Disney definitely, wait time wise, tries to push you to different parts of the park. If there's a 3-hour line for one ride, they obviously want people where there's 10-minute waits. We experienced this at Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, right? At the end of the night, we watched the fireworks from behind the castle, and then we went to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. It's, park's closing in 20 minutes or so, and the sign literally said 180-minute wait. Obviously, 180-minute wait for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train snakes it through the whole queue, out the side, down the side. That's probably a 180-minute wait. We got in line and we waited for 12 minutes. We basically walked through the whole queue, stood in line at the train for 3 or 4 rides, and got on the ride. So, I mean, it's obvious that they try to push you different places in the park. But I agree with you. There's not a real good way to estimate time, and especially with Lightning Lane now, it's going to be longer, but it's still not going to be what they say on the side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Right, I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, this one's fun. Now these are a couple of the fun lies, quote unquote, that we hear some people say. And Dave, this one actually, we were talking about this before the show. This one was actually a lie that maybe you believed.
Oh, I believe it.
100%, right? Yeah. So guess what, Dave?
Okay, go.
In the Haunted Mansion, when after you go down backwards in your dune buggy and you go around by the grave guy with the shaking dog.
It's my favorite ride.
Grim Grinny Gross come out to socialize. You got the busts, the bust that's laying down. Mm-hmm. Guess what?
What?
That's Walt Disney.
I know. Isn't that so cool? Every time I ride past it, I'm all like, "There's Walt." I'm looking at my kids. I'm like, "Guys, look, there's Walt. Mm-hmm. Walt Disney is the best."
And I thought the same. And guess what? Not Walt Disney.
I'm sorry, what?
Not Walt Disney.
You mean I've lied to my children?
You've lied to your children. You've probably lied to me. I mean, we've ridden that ride together. You've probably been like, look, it's Disney. And I'd been like, yeah, because up until a couple years ago, I did not know this either. I forget. I think I have a book. I think Krista got me a book for Christmas that actually told me this information. And this was one of those Disney myths. But yes, the fallen overhead that everyone thinks is Walt Disney is actually Thurl Ravenscroft. Now, let me just pause for a second. The dude's name is Thurl.
And then his last name is Ravenscroft. How epic is that, dude?
I mean, that's a scary dude. Like,
you know what I think is cool about his name? My favorite thing about his name is it's great.
Exactly.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
He was Tony the Tiger, and he also sang the theme for The Grinch.
Yes. He has a really cool voice.
That's why he has that really deep voice when you go by it on the Haunted Mansion ride. He's the low voice, and that's why Walt Disney did not have that low a voice. No. They just happened to look like each other. So, Dave, I'm sorry to break your heart, and I'm sorry to bring you some truth into your favorite ride, but Walt Disney is not in there.
Okay, well, I got this one. This one is way better because, I mean, I love Walt. I love reading about Walt. I love his impact on society. Even today, as he comes close, I think he'll be 100 this year. Would have been 100 pretty close. And that is thankfully, he is frozen. And when they figure out all that cryogenic stuff, he'll be able to come back and he'll still be like in his 60s. And so he'll still be young enough to make some cool stuff. Maybe we'll get another gate at some of our parks.
That's going to be awesome. Yeah. Yes. I hope he comes back. And you know what I actually heard? I heard his head is actually in one of the jars at the end of Pirates of the Caribbean behind Johnny Depp and Jack Sparrow.
That might have been the creepiest thing I've heard in months. Clearly, we're sticking with the tongue-in-cheek here. Yes, there have been, I don't even know, I have not looked up as to know why that's even a rumor. Like, I have read a lot about Walt Disney. I don't ever remember hearing or reading anything of him talking, looking into, being interested in any hey, I wonder if I can freeze myself if that will work. So I would love to look up as to where that even came from to begin with. But as they say on social media, oh, honey, no.
Oh, honey, no.
That is not a thing.
Mean, yeah, it says following his death in 1966, pop culture conspiracy theorists promoted a myth that his cryogenically frozen body was stored away in a hidden vault close to Disney World.
Nope. And why would it be there?
Like, I mean, he didn't grow up there.
He didn't even know what it looked like.
He never did anything there. The first park that he strolled around and had an apartment in was Disneyland. Why would he be at Disney World?
Could you imagine,
people? Could
you imagine being frozen for 70 years or however long they're going to wait till they bring it back? And then he wakes up and he's like, I'm home. Where? What did they do to my, like, he's not even going to recognize the park.
Where am I? Like, this doesn't look like Disneyland. Oh gosh. But yeah, the big thing was he was going to come back, and there was a whole Facebook page devoted to the thawing of Walt Disney to bring him back. And so yeah, people, if you hear people say Walt Disney's frozen or his head is in a basket at Pirates of the Caribbean, it's a lie. It's lies. It's nothing but lies.
That's pretty silly. But I'm not judging.
Nope. Well, here's my favorite one, Dave, and we're going to wrap up with this one because, I mean, I still hear this to this day, right? So we obviously know that the weather in Central Florida is not the best. I mean, in the summertime, it's super hot. In the wintertime, it can get cold. It rains a lot, but that is okay. You know why? You're going to have a great day because Disney controls the weather.
Dang right they do.
There's a bubble over Walt Disney World, and if they want it to rain, it will. You know why?
It does.
That's so they can sell ponchos and umbrellas, because those things are like $50. Disney's a little short on the cash.
Yeah,
they're going to open the dome and they're going to let it rain inside.
Let's go. Yep. If you've seen the latest Kong versus Godzilla, which those aren't my jam, but I watched it. Like the beginning of that movie, it certainly appears that Kong is in like this world, and then like something, or he punches the sky and like something breaks. Yeah, that's what's going on at Disney. Yeah, man, it's like if you like, first of all, there's a reason why Anaheim, California was the first choice and why it was the right choice. Like that has the most predictable weather, I think, of anywhere on the globe.
Yes.
And Florida,
sunny and 70.
Yeah, Florida is it's this leg that sticks out and it's surrounded by water, and all it does is grab up moisture from either body of those water and rain. It's like lake effect snow in the Northeast.
Lake effect snow for rain.
Yes. Yeah, man.
I mean, obviously.
And I'll be transparent here, Brendan. Like there were, before I was going as much as I've had the privilege of going, when I would come, you would know I would be livid if it was like, it's going to flip and rain all day. I thought Florida only had like a thunderstorm, and then 30 minutes later, like the sky cleaned up and it was hot for a little while, but it all dried up. And I would be so angry that it was ruining my vacation. Like forgetting that it's Florida in the summer.
And they really don't control the weather. No. But So that's kind of our fistful.
Yeah,
if you will.
A fistful of lies. Fistful of lies. There's our show.
That's the name of the show, Fistful of Lies.
Yes.
But if you guys know any more, or if you've heard any more Walt Disney World myths or lies, we'd love to hear about them. We'd love to see what you guys think about these lies. So shoot us a text, message us on the socials. Just let us know what you think about the Walt Disney World Fistful of Lies.
It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
Well, I hope we're liking this. Is there one news story that we were going to talk about? I mean, it kind of corrected itself a little bit, or we got clarification.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess at this point, it's worth bringing up. So we'll add our satire to it. Brandon sent me a text today from Blog Mickey's Twitter, and it was like at the Star Cruiser Hotel, which if you're not familiar with that is, that's basically the You will go there for a Star Wars experience that's 2 days, 2 nights.
A fully immersive.
Yeah, fully immersive. You're going up to space in a Star Cruiser.
That's the part you have to. That's the part you have to stress.
Yes.
Fully immersive Star Wars experience.
It was like
Dave. What were they going to do?
There is a bus that will pick you up from there and take you to Disney Springs. Huh? So when we first read that, we were like, "Wait, people." 48 hours, you got to say, hey, time out. I want to go to Disney Springs and go to World of Disney and get some gifts before we leave. Like I was like, well, or then I was like, okay, well maybe they're going to have really sick buses that are nothing but like the windows are video screens, and it'll be like a transport taking you down to earth and then we got the clarification, which was what?
The clarification was that since this is going to be a experience where it's like a cruise, right? Everyone goes in the hotel at the same time and everyone leaves the hotel at the same time. So what the clarification was, and I think the story was started because there was someone saw a sign with a bus stop to and from Disney Springs at the Star Wars Galactic Hotel. But what it turned out to be was that for families and travelers who arrive to Orlando early, that is where they're going to stage them in order to take them to the Star Wars Galactic Hotel. So obviously there would be a bus stop, and obviously there would be signs saying to and from Disney Springs because they have to get there. Now, still, I would think that if this was supposed to be a fully immersive experience, you probably don't want to start it off at Disney Springs, right? Like there should be like in my mind, what they would do is they would build something akin to a cruise terminal that's like a spaceport, right? Yep. So you land at the airport. So this is how I would have done it, especially if you're going to pay this much to go.
Dude, our first episode of Reimagineer It. Let's go.
This is what we're doing. So this is what I would do, right? So you land at Orlando International Airport, or if you're driving in, this is where you drive to. But you get on a transport from the airport. Mears would have to work this out. This would be part of the experience. Again, fully immersive. You get on a transport and it takes you to the spaceport. You go, you check your credentials, and there you wait until it is time to go to the Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. Yeah. Like, to me, that's a fully immersive experience. Like when I go get on a cruise, like they don't take me to a Walmart and I wait to go on the cruise from a Walmart. To me, that's what it feels like. I mean, Disney Springs is cool, but if you're coming for the Star Wars Hotel, you're not really coming for Disney Springs. So to me, it just seems weird either way, whether they had a bus to take you there because you were bored at the bar at this place where that weird people sing, or you start there. So it was just weird to me. I just thought it was funny.
I get the why behind it. As I processed it more today, and it made sense. I get it. Like, for example, this is not a Disney related trip, but I'm coming down there in 3.5 weeks or so, and my flight lands at like 8:45 in the morning. Now, I don't know what check-in time is, but if it's like a typical hotel and it's not till between like 3 and 4 or 2 and 4, I get it, right? You come there, you have nothing to do, nowhere to go, and you're like, well, I can't go to the hotel, and so at least they like ship you to where you're going to go, no pun intended, and then put you on a bus to go do something Disney. I get it, but it's still, because it would be easy if everybody arrived at the same time, but that's not how life and travel and flights work. So, but I mean, I don't know. Obviously people driving, it's a whole nother thing, but like, I just think of like my flight that's literally landing at 8:45 in the morning. If I can't check in till 3, what on earth do I do?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I would think like a place, like a processing center, right, is where you would go. So it would be like a hotel, a place with parking lots for people who drove. The buses come and drop people off there, and they gather and check in and do all the stuff they need for their immersive weekend. Brilliant. And then they are taken on the shuttle to the actual thing. Reimagineer it right there. All right, Bob's. Brandon got you covered. Call me up, Bob's. I got it.
I love it. Dude, this was good.
Love it.
We made it through. Good. I'm exhausted after Pete's show, but we snuck an episode in.
We powered through.
That's right. There we go. A fistful of lies.
A fistful of lies. That's my favorite show title.
But people are going to look at it and be like, I don't know what that means. That's why you must listen to it.
That's right. We got to get something to bring them in. They got to listen. They can't just be like, oh, they're talking about the 50th. Mm-hmm. Not listening. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's going to be going on for 3 calendar years. Got it. Oh, Brandon sent me another text. I don't know if it was in Matthew did. He sent me this video clip. I don't know. He maybe sent it to you guys, but it was Chapek walking around either outside of the parks in Anaheim or outside of the parks here or Disney. I don't know, somewhere. And he was like walking and texting all by himself, no security, nobody around him. He was just walking around like texting. I was like, what?
That seems totally normal.
Yeah. Like, I mean, as much as people hate you, don't ever be alone.
Yeah, that's probably not wise.
Yeah, I don't agree with the hate. I'm just saying. I'm gonna see if I can.
I'm just saying. Be smart, Chapek.
I think this is land, but yeah, I'll send you the clip. It's all by himself. Suit to the 9. What on earth is that? Are you on TikTok? Can I just tag you? Send him random. There you go. Riveting close to the show, guys. Sorry about that.
And they've all tuned out.
They're like, are you going to share it with us, guys? No, it's on TikTok. Just look up Chapek by himself. TikTok. It's probably not going to work. I don't know what to tell you. Hey, man, let's wrap this puppy up.
Hey, let's wrap it up. Oh, goodness. Make sure to check us out on all our socials. We're on Twitter, Another Diz Pod. We're on Instagram, Another Disney Podcast. YouTube,
Another Disney Podcast.
YouTube, Another Disney Podcast. And
Bookface.
Facebook, Another Disney Podcast. Yeah. Check out our website, anotherdisneypodcast.com. It's got a link to all of our shows, as well as our merchandise. I need to buy some more merchandise.
I know, I wore one tonight.
It's cold in Florida. I need a Florida sweatshirt.
It's going to be gone in the
maybe I'll get one of those.
Hey, watch out for falling iguanas. Just be careful.
Stay. Don't go under trees right now. But yeah, check us out on all the socials, and don't forget to check us out if you have a minute. Just go check out Pete's show.
Yeah, please.
He's got a great channel. There's something there for everybody. He's an awesome dude, so check it out.
Yeah, lots of Disney stuff to discover there. Other creators. It's great. All right, yes, my friend. Indeed. Until next week.
All right, my friend. Until next time.
Bicycle.